Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, and welcome to Shedding the Bitch Radio, where you can discuss, debate, and get advice on how to discover and shed the bitches of fear, insecurity, self-doubt, and negative mindsets so you can realize your dreams and life purpose and create and accelerate the riches you want in life. Join us here live every Tuesday at noon Eastern and dialogue with us at 818-572-2910. You can also chat with us at Blog Talk Radio /SheddingTheBitch or share your stories on our website at sheddingthebitch.com. Whatever the bitch is that's holding you back from living your life to the fullest, it's not worth giving up the riches in life that you deserve. So call in now and let Bernadette Bowes know what's holding you back. 818-572-2910.
Welcome, everyone. I am in studio with our guest today. Hi, Catherine.
Hi, Bernadette. So glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here, too. Our most popular guest, and she happens to live in the hood, live in my neighborhood, so it works out all the time, but Catherine Carrigan, and she has another bestseller we're going to talk about, and it's been out for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yet, at the same time, it's January 30th. Who doesn't need energy today? I can certainly use it.
Absolutely.
We're only 4 weeks into the new year, and I'm exhausted. So we're going to get into all of that. But first off, with just a few things, let me think. Thank you, including you, for all the well wishes for my birthday. It was yesterday. I had a fabulous birthday. It was kind of weird. I tried to get to the DMV, and they were closed. I didn't even know that. But then somebody bought me a breakfast at McDonald's because they rudely cut in front of me, and they didn't even know it was my birthday. And then what did I do? I really just kind of worked out and treated myself really nicely, and it was a lovely, lovely birthday. And then I'm still trying to respond to the hundreds and hundreds of well wishes that you've been sending on Facebook. So I'll get back to all of you. Trust me, I will, because I think that's important. And plus, thank you for the flowers for those that sent in, and cards, and all the images, and all the funny GIFs. Are they called GIFs or GIFs? What's the proper thing? GIFs?
GIFs, yes.
GIFs.
Yes.
So thanks for all the GIFs. See, I'm so out of tune. But it was a lovely birthday. Thank you so much for all of that. And like I said, we are in studio, which we're always in studio, but we are filming today since Catherine's with me. And we're going to dive in because fortunately, when there's not a lot of, news, that sometimes is a really good thing. That means things are somewhat quiet and somewhat uneventful, other than our lives, which are very eventful. All right, so what are we talking about? We're going to help you find unlimited energy right now. She's got solutions, she's got tips, she's got tools, and really what you're also going to really learn about is you're going to discover the secrets of how you can experience unlimited energy and learn how to operate your body at its very best. We'll touch on that. We'll touch on mastering your own energy system, as well as resolving the emotions that drain you. All right, I'm all game for that. Bring it on. Connect to your higher intelligence and inspire yourself to connect more deeply. So your rich question, because what we typically do if you're new to the program is we'll offer up the subject. We'll give you a rich question to be thinking about as we discuss the subject. Now, if you want to call into the show live, we're here at 1-818-572-2910, and you can speak directly to Catherine. Now, I will say, Deborah, if you're out there, and I know you're going to have to drop off earlier, but Deborah Parker of Parker House Virtual Services, she does our social media and produces the show for us. I was having trouble, Deborah, getting into the studio. I'm going to try when we get on our first commercial break before we get into this conversation. So if you have gotten out there, you can, and if I have trouble, I might just need you to moderate and open up the chat room for us. But we'll get it all figured out, and we'll take care of you. Because if you are like most people, like our 99% of our listeners, you download it as a podcast and take us with you. You even go to YouTube so you can see our smiley faces when we are in studio and we're videotaping it like we are today. So if you should listen to the program, you had this rich question, you have a question for Catherine, then at any time you could post it on Facebook or Twitter, and I will have her handles, which is pretty much Catherine Carrigan, everywhere. So you can reach out to her directly as well. So we want to make sure that we take care of you. So your rich question for today, based on this subject of unlimited energy, is what is that one, or maybe it's two things, the most important ones that really drain your energy? It could be your kids. It could be the way you eat. It could be the lack of working out or even exercise of any kind. So what is that one or two things that you know really drains your energy? Maybe it's a lack of sleep. And so hold on to that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to try to find you solutions to that. And like I said, if your question is not answered, then you can always reach out on our Facebook and Twitter Shedding the Bitch page, or reach out to Catherine Carrigan directly as well. Your rich tags for today are going to be, because Catherine, and I'll introduce her formally after we take a break, but Catherine is a medical intuitive healer. And I'll tell you what, you have to follow her because she has a huge following, first off, and she's always sending great, inspiring, not only just quotes, but every email you get from her even has this beautiful image of a flower or flowers. And it's almost as if you could put it as your screensaver, and it just, God, it immediately just warms you up, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so your rich tag, medical intuitive healer. Natural healing is a hashtag you can use. And then, of course, Shed the Bitch as always, all right? We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to take a look at the studio thing, and we'll be right back and dive into this conversation with a formal introduction of Catherine. We'll be right back.
You are listening to Shedding the Bitch Radio with Bernadette Bose. We are inspiring individuals around the globe to discover, confront, and shed their bitches of fear, insecurity, and negativity so they can create the riches in their career, business, and life they deserve. Be sure to check out Bernadette's book, Shedding the Corporate Bitch, Shifting from Bitch to Rich in Life and Business, available on Amazon and sheddingthebitch.com. We also want to thank our sponsors, TSR Consulting, who offers a broad range of tax services for small to corporate-sized clients. Go to tsrconsulting.com to learn more. And Parker House Virtual Services, who provides virtual assistance and social media support for small to medium-sized businesses. Email Deborah Parker at deborahparker78@gmail.com for more information. To become a sponsor or advertiser on our program, email us at mediarelations@sheddingthebitch.com. Shedding the Bitch Radio airs every Tuesday at noon Eastern Time. Be sure to go to blogtalkradio.com/Shedding the Bitch Radio and follow the program for all of the updates and announcements of our guests and show topics. Now let's return to Bernadette and Shedding the Bitch Radio.
Welcome back, everyone. We are talking to our ever popular and fun and just soothing guest, Catherine Carrigan. Now, let me give you a formal introduction, and it's not all of it, so you're definitely going to have to go to CatherineCarrigan.com to get all the information regarding her and all of her books that are always bestsellers. And we've profiled a few of them. Charlie's choking over here. We've profiled a few of them on the program. She's probably, this is like, what, your fourth time? Maybe? Third, fourth?
Third, I think.
Fifth? Justin?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
But they're always great shows, and you love them. So Catherine Carrigan is a medical intuitive healer and an Amazon #1 best-selling author. Her eighth book, and also the book we're going to talk about today, but her eighth book, The Difference Between Pain and Suffering, just went to #1 recently on Amazon in 2 categories: medicine and psychology, and then alternative medicine reference. And today's discussion is based on her other popular best-selling book. Let me show you a snapshot for those going to watch this on YouTube. It's called Unlimited Energy Now. All right, so you can also go to Amazon and or CatherineCarrigan.com, and you can even, when you go to, especially Amazon, go to her author page or to her main page, and you'll see all the series of books that she's had. Because again, they're just packed full of information for you to have a better life. So today's conversation around unlimited energy, we're going to dive into just what you could be doing right now in order to find that energy, that motivation. It's going to give you so much in your life. So of all the subjects that you've covered, why was this one important around energy? What were you finding?
Well, Bernadette, the reason I wrote Unlimited Energy now is that the number one complaint among my new clients is fatigue, exhaustion, and lack of energy. Now, when you have more energy, you can do anything you do better. You can be a better radio host. You can be a better author. You can be a better coach. You can be a better mother, daughter, person, and you can just feel better and feel happier.
Absolutely.
Even a lot of my clients, I say to them, you're not crazy, you're just exhausted.
Well, some people would call me both, but okay.
Yeah. You know, even people who are depressed, I'm like, hey, you're not crazy, you're exhausted. And that rings a bell for them. It's
right.
like, hey, you know, I'm exhausted.
Right.
I'm not mentally ill, I'm exhausted.
And you talk about adrenal burnout, and that kind of threw me. I was like, okay, what's this? So help us understand what that is and what causes it, and then maybe even what we can do about it.
All right. So first of all, you have adrenal glands. Now, what are your adrenal glands? They are little glands that sit on top of your kidneys. They weigh the weight of a nickel. They secrete adrenaline and cortisol, your two stress hormones. So what happens is when you're chronically stressed for a long period of time, which is description of many people in this society, you move through stages of adrenal stress. The first stage is called alarm, which is where you're beginning to get stressed. Then second stage is what's called adaptation, where you adapt to the stress. And the third stage is adrenal exhaustion or burnout. Now, again, what I find is that among my new clients, actually 0% of my new clients have normal energy.
What?
None of my new clients have normal energy.
Wow.
And the thing to understand is, a way to think of this is kind of like your bank account. If you have $1 million in your bank account, if you make a mistake or two, it's like, well, maybe not so good, but you've got some reserves. And when you are in adrenal burnout, you have no reserves. So, you know, you go through a hard time, you go through a divorce, you get fired in your job, you have trouble with your children, and you have no reserves in order to cope with what life is presenting to you.
Right.
So when you learn how to build your tank and how to restore your energy, you have to understand that energy, chi, prana, vitality, however you want to call it, has its own intelligence. And when your energy is good, you have a stronger immune system, you're naturally creative, you can use that vitality for your own good and for the good of everyone around you. So it's a matter of really valuing that yourself. So what happens is you can actually run lab tests to find out scientifically how exhausted you are. Many people know they're exhausted. Well, how exhausted are you? Well, you can do spit tests, or you can come to somebody like me, a medical intuitive healer, and I can just tell you. And then at each stage of adrenal stress, there are different things that you can do. The more exhausted you are, the more you've got to, being totally exhausted is like being bankrupt.
Well, yes. And it could be a vicious cycle if you never really get it addressed.
Yes. So the first thing to understand is that if you're exhausted, you need some sort of personal health practices that help to restore your energy. Now, when I'm doing a medical intuitive reading, I'm going to read 5 levels: the physical body, the energy body, the emotional body, the mental body, and the spiritual body. Now, it's important to understand that your soul controls your mind controls your emotions controls your energy, and your energy system controls your physical. So by the time that you're sick or have illness or disease, there's been all these things going on all the levels all the time. So quick and dirty, let's talk about some things that you can do to rebuild your energy.
Yes.
Okay. On the spiritual level, believe it or not, have fun. when you're having fun.
Let's make sure everybody heard that. Have fun.
Have fun. When you're having fun, you're filling your tank, right? And when you're having fun, you're lifting your vibration. So give yourself permission to have fun. Life is not all about work. Another thing,
amen to that.
Absolutely. So all the things that you do, you know, with your friends, and you're hiking in the mountains, you're out in fresh air, but you're doing what your soul wants to do, okay? So finding meaning in your life.
Well, I was going to, some people don't know what kind of jumpstarts their soul.
Yeah.
You know, they don't know, or they're not willing to look because they're afraid maybe of what they're going to find, because maybe they're scared to pursue it, right?
Okay. So quick and dirty, there's 3 ways to be happy in life. The first way to be happy is by physical pleasure, eating good food, sex, moving your body.
I went right to sex.
Right to sex. Okay. Then what's called soul satisfaction, and what's soul satisfying to me might not be soul satisfying to somebody else. So for one person, it could be drinking beer on Saturday afternoon, watching the Super Bowl. For me, it might be, you know.
Charlie is choking himself to death right now.
Yeah.
If you're wondering what that growling is behind us.
Yeah. You know, for somebody else, it might be going to lunch with a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And the third way to be happy is with life meaning. So when you're connecting to the deeper spiritual purpose of why you're here, what you're about, and like for me, when I do healing work and I help people be healthier and happier, that is incredibly rewarding.
Right.
You know, I earn money, but aside from money, just really knowing that I'm making a difference and knowing you're making a difference is part of what gives you life meaning.
Right. Now, I want you to kind of stop there for a minute. Can you walk us through a day in the life of a client that comes to you, like, you know, and you know that they're this, you know, 99.9% drained, and you're talking about all these different areas. What does that really mean? What does that look like for someone who might want to engage someone like yourself or you directly? What does that look like?
Okay. So I'm going to talk about a number of self-care things that you can do to fill your energy tank, and realize that if you're my client, I may not give you every single one of these assignments. So don't go into overwhelm. When you're exhausted, it's really easy to go into overwhelm.
Yeah,
you're like,
absolutely.
I can't even do one thing. All right, so starting back on the spiritual level, have fun, meditate. It's very important to understand that one of the quickest ways to rebuild your energy is to be still, be yin. And especially as women in our culture, we're taught to be yang. This is what your work is about. You know, shed the bitch.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, when we're constantly fighting and arguing and pushing and striving, that's yang. And that sort of energy really drains women big time. Men can somewhat thrive on competition, but women, it's very, very draining. And so being yin, and how do you be yin? Sitting still, meditating, or lying down and meditating. Now, moving on to the mental level,
now will you coach your client or work with your client right there to teach them how to meditate, or you're pointing out these areas that, based on what you're picking up from them as what is causing their drain, you're making recommendations as to what would work? All of the above. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I'm doing a medical intuitive reading, I figure out where the issues are, and then figure out what will work to help you be better. And then I also do healing work, like resolving the core issues.
Right.
So I'm talking about homework, like things you can do, all right? So on a mental level, positive affirmations. There's nothing that is going to tank your energy but thinking negatively. My last client of the morning was somebody who's just chronically sick, and I said to her, you have to understand that the angelic is here, the demonic is here. And, you know, we're like, I'm old enough, I'm 58, I remember the old radio sets. And I could choose whether I'm listening to NPR or country music or rap or rock or easy listening, and you get to choose what vibration that you tune into. So start your day with prayer, meditation, setting your intentions. Abraham Hicks talks about this. You know, that the early morning where you're setting your vibration for your whole day is crucial. But using positive affirmations. And when you realize that you've gone negative, because we all do,
yes,
I
we
do,
yes, we do.
You know, we're human, then you want to shift your energy and shift and change that channel. Really realize you've gone negative.
Right. And realize that you do have a switch. You do have a way that you can change that channel.
Yes.
That just because right now you might be agitated or frustrated or angry, you literally have control to say, I'm going to change the channel.
Yes.
I'm going to put a positive affirmation within my head, and I'm going to move on.
Okay. And here's a really
Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. Now here's a real foolproof method to do that, because there are times in life that actually truly suck. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just your boyfriend broke up, you lost your job. It truly sucks. But what you want to do, everybody needs to come up with a foolproof positive thought. That if you just think about that situation, it will always make you feel better.
A situation.
Or like for myself, it would be if I just think about my dog.
Me too.
Yeah, all I gotta do is think about my dog. I get a smile on my face.
That's true.
You know, so you want to come up with a foolproof thought. That's something that if you think about that subject, it could be a person, it could be a situation, being on a mountaintop, being at the beach, being with somebody you love or care about, it's going to shift your vibration instantly.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Also, gratitude is very big. You know, again, I'm human. I know a couple of years ago I went through a really hard time, and before I went to sleep every night, I made myself write a list of 20 things I was grateful for that day. What I found was if I could get to 20, I could just keep going.
Right.
And so you're thinking about it, you're feeling it, and just getting into that vibration.
Now, do you see a difference between doing something like that at night, in the morning? Is it, 5? Is it 20? Is there any magic formula, or is it just when you feel yourself shifting as a result of what it is you're doing?
Well, I think it's really good to have a designated time of day, when you have personal practices like that. It doesn't matter when you do it, right? Whether it's first thing in the morning or last thing at night.
Right.
And then you want to also notice how long does it take you to get in a really high vibration?
Yeah.
For me, I know when I was writing my gratitude list on a daily basis, I could get to 10 and then I'd sort of slow down. I was like, well, now what else? But then if I just noticed if I could do that, then I could just really shift into this big state.
Yeah.
So you just really want to notice.
Right.
Okay, because you want to get into the thoughts and then the feeling of true gratitude.
Right. Which then is just automatically going to be uplifting and change that energy.
Right.
That you were dealing with.
Yeah. Now, on the emotional level, you have to understand that emotions can shut down literally any process in your body. Now, I'll give an example of this. So I remember years ago, I was on my vacation, and I was on my way to a yoga class. And I was it was a beautiful day. I was looking forward to doing yoga, and I got a call, and my old professor from Brown had just died. And I got to yoga class, and I could literally hardly move. I just lay on the yoga mat and cried. Oh. And so we've all had that experience.
Absolutely.
Where your emotions come on so strong, they just shut you down.
Right. Absolutely.
So it's very important when you are chronically exhausted that you identify the emotion or emotions that are, just absolutely draining you. Like Bernadette said, what is it? Now, what I would say, and I'm going to do a massive generalization here, massive, like black and white. So massively generalizing. For women, we tend to get stuck in our grief, all right? And for men, they get stuck in their anger. Now, it's all the same thing because it's all just energy that's draining you and making you stuck, and you're stuck in the muck. But you want to really identify what are the emotions that are triggering, that are going around in my mind all the time. And all you got to do really is listen. What am I thinking? What am I feeling?
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to work with a coach or someone who can help you shift out of it.
Right.
Like you work with Bernadette. Like you're stuck.
Right.
You're stuck. You know you're stuck. You're not getting anywhere on your own. Well, get help.
Well, okay. So what, other than our emotions,
mm-hmm.
and other than our need to really kind of be self-reflective and go inward, obviously there's a lot of things that we're doing in our life, even just from, let's say, eating,
mm-hmm.
that causes us to just be totally depleted and drained of energy.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
So I'm going spiritual, mental, emotional. Now I'm going to get to energy.
I jumped.
And it's okay. It's all good. So big picture, you have an energy system. Now, you know you've got a body. You know you've got bones and organs and blood and all this stuff. We also have an energy system. You have an acupuncture system. You also have a chakra system. Now, many people don't understand. We all know that exercise is good for us, but there's energy exercise. There are exercises that you can do on a regular basis that build your energy. Now, I've got a couple of websites. One of my websites is called unlimitedenergynow.com. On that website, you can go and you will find a ton of free videos on Qigong and yoga. Now, the top 3 exercises that help build your energy are Qigong, Tai Chi, and yoga. Now, I teach Qigong and I teach yoga. I've taught yoga for 22 years. I've taught Qigong forever. Take Tai Chi and Qigong. Tai Chi and Qigong, they balance your acupuncture system. So that's like if your car is out of gas and you go to the BP station and you put gas in your car, you've got gas to run around town like you need to. When you practice Tai Chi and Qigong, you're literally putting energy into your body. So if you do something like a marathon, marathons can be good, and all those of you who like to run, I'm happy for you, but it can be very draining.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, and depleting.
And very depleting.
Very depleting.
So anytime when you're in those later stages of adrenal burnout, you have to be very smart about the kind of exercise you do. Anytime you're getting your heart rate continuously over 100 beats per minute, your body has to secrete cortisol and adrenaline, and the cortisol and adrenaline is what's going to drain your energy. So back to Tai Chi, Qigong, those are going to balance your energy.
Could you describe what those are for those people that may not know kind of what each of them are?
So Tai Chi and Qigong are forms of Chinese martial arts, okay? People who are over 100 years old do Qigong. When I first learned Qigong, my teacher was a Chinese gentleman. His teacher was a woman who theoretically, mysteriously, was supposed to be 120 years old. Now, so personally, I'm 58 years old. Everything I do requires energy. I write books. I teach yoga. I do healing work. I run a radio show like you. If I don't have great energy, I can't do what I do.
Right.
All right. Now, yoga is from India. A lot of people know what yoga is, and yoga balances your chakra system. So whenever I'm doing healing work and I'm working, for example, on yoga teachers, their chakras are usually open and balanced. Now, here's the deal. If you are exhausted, you want to pick yoga, Tai Chi, or Qigong and practice those regularly. And by regularly, I mean at least once a week, where you fill your tank with energy. So you can also go receive acupuncture. You can receive Reiki. I'm a Reiki master. You can receive energy healing, and that's wonderful. But, hey, you may not be able to afford somebody doing healing work on you, but you can go to unlimitedenergynow.com, watch the free videos on Qigong, stand in your garden, do deep breathing exercises, and balance your energy system naturally.
Oh, I'm going to check those out.
Yeah, it's really a big deal. So it's a big part. Practicing Tai Chi, Qigong, and yoga are very helpful. The other thing you can do on the energetic level is breathing exercises. Now, again, if you go to unlimitedenergynow.com, I have a little breathing routine that I call 8 minutes to inner peace.
Ooh.
Only takes 8 minutes. In 8 minutes, you can totally shift your vibration. Now, one of the things that really exhausts people is unresolved emotions. Now, sometimes you can say, hey, my boss, husband, child, this person or that person is driving me nuts and I'm so mad, angry, whatever. Sometimes you can put a finger on it. Other times, all you know is that you're exhausted and you feel bad. By doing deep breathing exercises, you can release that stuck energy that you may have repressed or suppressed and shift out of that vibration. So go to unlimitedenergynow.com and do these deep breathing exercises. They're very helpful.
I'm getting energy just from talking with her. How about you guys?
Yeah. So, you can wake up in the morning, spend 8 minutes. And I'm a long-term yoga teacher, and you can absolutely spend 30 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour doing deep breathing. Well, a lot of my clients, it's like, help me feel better instantly.
Right.
And when you're in the middle of a panic attack or you're just feeling really, really bad, if there's something that you can do to shift out of that really quickly, it's very empowering.
Oh, absolutely. Because why would you want to live in that junk?
Exactly.
Why would you want to spend one extra moment with that ugliness?
Yeah.
That's just going to drain and deplete you. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and because there's a lot more to talk about, as you can see. Don't you have the energy already? Whether you're watching us on video or listening to her, you can just feel the energy, and we're going to talk a lot more about that when we get back. We'll be right back.
You are listening to Shedding the Bitch Radio with Bernadette Bose. We are inspiring individuals around the globe to discover, confront, and shed their bitches of fear, insecurity, and negativity so they can create the riches in their career, business, and life they deserve. Be sure to check out Bernadette's book, Shedding the Corporate Bitch, Shifting from Bitch to Rich in Life and Business, available on Amazon and sheddingthebitch.com. We also want to thank our sponsors, TSR Consulting, who offers a broad range of tax services for small to corporate-sized clients. Go to tsrconsulting.com to learn more. And Parker House Virtual Services, who provides virtual assistance and social media support for small to medium-sized businesses. Email Deborah Parker at deborahparker78@gmail.com for more information. To become a sponsor or advertiser on our program, email us at mediarelations@sheddingthebitch.com. Shedding the Bitch Radio airs every Tuesday at noon Eastern Time. Be sure to go to blogtalkradio.com/Shedding the Bitch Radio and follow the program for all of the updates and announcements of our guests and show topics. Now let's return to Bernadette and Shedding the Bitch Radio.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm in studio with Catherine Carrigan. She's a award-winning, best-selling author and a medical intuitive healer. And she's been on our program multiple times. You can go back to sheddingthebitch.com or onto our YouTube channel. She lives in my neighborhood, so I get to put her in the studio on camera. So you can find the multiple interviews with Catherine on either one of those channels, as I'll call them. All right, I'm going to open up the lines just in case there's someone out there that has a question for Catherine. And if not, then we're just going to continue moving forward. If anyone has a question, feel free to jump out.
Hi.
Hi,
Hello?
How are you? Yes, how are you?
Good. I'm really enjoying your show. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Any particular question for Catherine or myself?
Well, what's holding me back? I'm perpetually sick since I was 15, and I just turned 59. Oh, happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
And I just would like to know what the heck.
Okay, what is your name?
Lisa.
Lisa? Okay. Hi, Lisa. Thank you so
Hi.
much for calling. And I'm going to say a couple things. When I do a medical intuitive reading, I'm going to read your physical, energetic, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies, okay? And so just know that I honor you in your process. So I'm going to do a quick and dirty medical intuitive reading. This is not a summation of everything. But basically, one of the things that I get about you is that you've given up. And you have to understand that if you're still breathing, you can get better. And I see that you need to work on your physical body. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about this. And I also feel that you've lost your connection to joy in life. You've lost your sense of meaning and purpose. So just realize that you can get better. And the other thing that I get about you is that you need to reconnect with your personal power. A lot of times when we get sick, we want someone else to fix us and to do it for us. And especially when we're really exhausted like you are, you need help. But I get that you have lost your connection with your own personal power. And I think one of the things that will help you personally to reconnect with that is being around other strong women like Bernadette. It's great that you're listening to Bernadette Boaz's show. You need to be around other smart, successful women who are in their power, because I think that you haven't had enough good role models. It's like you're trying to figure out, how do I connect to my personal power system? Is that helpful? And one of the things, I do offer a free 15-minute consult. So when we're not on the radio, you're welcome to email me, Catherine at CatherineCarrigan.com, or text me at 678-612-8816, and we'll set up a time to do a free 15-minute consult. You do have multiple things going on multiple levels, but I'm 58. I'm older than you are. I got great energy, and you can too.
Oh, you're not. I'm a year older than you.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Okay, all right, you got me.
Thanks.
Well, and
nice try.
and what is wonderful too is if Lisa, at first when I first met Catherine, and especially in that little bit that you said, I can't because I got some close ups here, but she can feel into what it is that someone is going through. So I would definitely take advantage of also reaching out to her again and getting that 15 minutes, because you'll be amazed at what she can come up with to help you. All right?
Thank you.
Thanks for calling.
Thanks, Lisa. And hang on and stay tuned, because we have a lot more to talk about, okay?
I would love to listen.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we're going to get into the physical.
Right. And I just want to say, I've worked with so many clients with chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia and Lyme disease and, these chronic illnesses that just absolutely drain our energy. And that's part of why I wrote my book, because there's so many people, they're like, I'm exhausted. I'm like, okay, well, your homework is to do this.
Right.
Now, when I wrote Unlimited Energy Now, I wrote it very simply. It's very clear. You can download the audio book for less than $5 on Amazon. Okay, so I wrote it for people who are retired, just like you. So it's not complicated. Now, on the physical level, let's talk about several things. First of all, most women, we have a lot of issues about food, okay? And, we look at food like calories or, if I eat that, it'll make me fat. Well, when you're exhausted, usually your body hangs on to whatever fat you have. When I have clients in those later stages of adrenal stress, they'll come in. They're, exercising an hour a day and starving, and they're not losing any weight. You have to understand that when your adrenals are burned out, you have a damaged metabolism. So I'll identify what is causing your metabolism to be damaged. So the first thing you want to do is you want to change your whole relationship with food. Okay. Now, I'm
easier said than done, but okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now, let me give you some ideas about how to do this.
Good.
Okay. Because we're afraid of food. We hate food. We don't want to eat. All this nutsy stuff. And I'm a good person to talk to about this. I'm 58. I just went to a ball recently, and I wore a dress that I bought when I was 28.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was this beautiful hot pink strapless dress. And somebody asked me, is that a vintage dress? I said, it's been in my closet for 30 years.
So, yes, it qualifies.
Yeah. Okay, so back to food. Big picture, you got to look at what food is going to give me energy, right? So food has vitality, right? Now, if you're eating dead, processed, microwaved junk, okay, that's not going to have a lot of energy. I remember years ago working with a lady who had chronic fatigue, and she came in and she told me she ate so-called protein bars every day. Okay, that was her breakfast. You know, I said, well, the marketing agencies have really done a number on you. It says on the package, healthy. It has no energy. You know, and there's a healthy choice frozen microwave dinners. And I said, somebody on Madison Avenue has decided that if we take this stuff, put it in plastic, tell you to microwave it, and put on the package healthy choice, that there's a part of you that's going to actually believe it.
Yeah.
So what food has vitality? Fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. If I had it all, if I could rule the world, if I could, all my clients would make juices and smoothies every day. Okay? Now, health nuts will argue which is healthier, juices or smoothies. And the truth is smoothies. So if you get like a Blend Tech or a Vitamix, one of those, or Magic Bullet, and you grind up fruits and vegetables every day, you're going to have more energy. Personally, I have a beautiful garden here in Atlanta. My garden is all organic, no chemicals. If you go to CatherineCarrigan.com, that garden is created with no toxic chemicals. So you want to have, for example, in my front garden, I've got lettuce, I've got kale, I've got spinach. So something just really basic. 5 to 7 servings of fruits and vegetables. We hear that. Who does that?
Right. Well, let me ask you a practical question, though.
Yes.
Only because I have to admit, I've been on Weight Watchers for the last 3 weeks now. I've lost 6 pounds. I'm very excited. But even she noticed, because I feel like I have a lot more energy. And I have to say, I've been leveraging the fact that it's whole food. You know, it's not, none of it's processed. None of it, you know, it's fruits, it's vegetables, it's chicken, you know, it's other things. You know, and I haven't felt like I've deprived myself. And I can definitely feel like I'm not as sugared up, you know, which for me is very draining, very depleting, is when I eat a lot of sugar, I can tell that it's having that depleting impact on me. Now, but at the same time, you know, it's taken me many years to get to a point where I'm like, okay, so, you know, I want to make some changes. What are like 1 or 2 things people can start doing? Because they always hear that they fruits and vegetables and what comes from the earth. But what have you found with your clients are easy kind of progressive steps to do that? So first thing you want to do, and I'm going to give you the quick and dirty eating plan to rebuild your energy. So big picture, you have 2 major hormones in your body, insulin and cortisol. Insulin is the hormone that helps you balance your blood sugar. Cortisol is your stress hormone, okay? Now, the thing to understand is that the most important hormone is insulin. So I always joke the key to life is balance your blood sugar. If you're eating sugar all day long, you're basically going to have terrible energy problems, because when you eat sugar, your energy is going to go way up and then you crash. And you're having all these, you know, you're basically on a roller coaster all day long. And I have clients and they come to me and they go, Catherine, when I eat the way you tell me to do, I eat less food, I'm less hungry, I have more energy, versus if I go back to eating the other way and I'm eating more food, I'm more hungry, I'm more exhausted. So quick and dirty. Number 1, if you're awake, eat every 2 hours. Now, this is really smart. I'm a grazer. Absolutely.
Eat little bits of food every 2 hours. Again, I'm the same size that I was when I was 28, and I eat all day long. Now, number 2, what to eat. Meat. I'm going to get back to meat. Okay, I have lots of clients. I've been working with a lot of clients recently, vegan, vegetarian, and I'm like, you know what? I don't agree with the way you eat. I'm a major animal lover. All your brain chemistry is made from amino acids. So if you go long periods of time without eating enough, amino acids are the building blocks of protein. If you don't get what your brain needs in order to think clearly, okay, you're going to deplete your brain chemistry. You're going to have anxiety. You're going to be depressed. You're going to not be able to remember clearly. And
they can't get those proteins, you know, somewhere else. Say they are a big animal person, and they don't want to eat,
It's very difficult. Very,
that's
very,
good to know.
very difficult.
That's good to know.
I had a client in yesterday. He was dizzy all the time, had brain fog. He's a man eating soy products, which are going to upset his hormones. So, so big picture, you want to eat, so quick and dirty. You want to eat meat. You know what that is, okay? And you, believe it or not, you want to have at least 9 ounces of red meat every week. Why is this important? The only way to keep your blood sugar balance at a deep level is with methionine. Methionine is found mostly in red meat. So if you have 3-ounce servings of red meat every week, that's going to be really helpful for you. And the more out of balance your blood sugar is, the more that you need to include a little bit of red meat in your diet.
Wow.
You need to eat vegetables, okay, those green things. They're not always green, but frequently green. And the phytochemicals are found in the peels and the pits. You need fruit. You know what that is. And fruit, there's a glycemic index. Berries are the best. I eat berries every day of my life. I start my day with my breakfast is berries, walnuts, brain food, yogurt, gluten-free granola, and green juice. Okay? So meat, vegetables, fruit, nuts. And then you want to eliminate the sugar out of your diet.
Right.
Now, many people have food sensitivities. As a healer, I help people identify food sensitivities. Many people have broken down their gut, especially recently. I've had so many clients that have been on antibiotics for months. When you've been on antibiotics for a long period of time or repeatedly, that breaks down the mucosal barrier in your gut. And when that happens, you start reacting to every food. So wheat, dairy, soy, corn, eggs, etc. So if that's the case, you need to go on a gut healing program. But just realize that many people are reacting to foods. One of the most common food sensitivities is actually gluten. And the problem with gluten is that it is sprayed with Roundup, also known as glyphosate. Glyphosate is a toxic chemical. It will cause depression, anxiety, cancer, dementia, on and on and on.
Now, I heard recently, since you brought gluten up, I heard recently, about a month ago, I guess, that the whole gluten phenomenon is actually very exaggerated.
Okay.
And that the 9 out of 10 people who now claim that they're gluten intolerant, gluten's been in diets for centuries. And
right. Okay, but here's the thing. Several comments. Number one, they've changed the way they harvest wheat. Now, when they want to harvest wheat, they spray it with Roundup, okay, and in order to prepare it. So it's a lot of times it's the chemical toxicity that is affecting it.
Right.
So it's not the wheat we have today is not the wheat that we had.
That's what when you brought up Roundup, I thought, okay, maybe that's what's been the trigger.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
Okay.
And then the second thing is that gluten is very pro-inflammatory. So
pro-inflammatory?
Yes, meaning it causes
a lot of
inflammation. So anything that causes inflammation in your body is going to take your energy down. So what causes inflammation? Caffeine. A lot of people, when you're exhausted, you get through the day with caffeine and sugar.
Even coffee caffeine or like a Diet Coke sugar caffeine types?
All of the above.
All of the above.
Okay, so just realize that a lot of people are, when you're really exhausting, you're self-medicating, usually. You're just trying to get through the day, you're eating your sugar, you're drinking your coffee. It's like, don't tell me to stop eating sugar and coffee, I might collapse. Well, just realize that there are other ways of doing that. Like I would, if I've got a client who's really exhausted, I want them to make smoothies. I know you make whole food smoothies.
I do. And I've done that for years. I love them.
Yeah,
love them.
And again, I start my day every day with green juice. And if you haven't done green juice, you may be rolling your eyes. And
it's actually really good.
Yeah. And
it's really good.
Yeah. I've got a juicer. I've got a blend tech. I'm pretty healthy at the moment, so I just buy my green juice because I'm, busy. But I'm a food healing instructor, so I've got specific food healing recipes that I'll put people on when they're not well.
So good. I'm glad you just said that, because I want to go back to Lisa for a second. So, and hopefully she's still on, because when she was saying that she's been sick for a long time,
yes,
two things came up for me, and I'm not diagnosing anybody, but two things came up for me. You probably can tap into what that is, even though she may have been going to doctors after doctor after doctor trying to get diagnosed, and yet haven't found anything. And the first thing that came to my mind, because a friend of mine had that same situation about a decade ago, and it was actually fibromyalgia. I can never say
fibromyalgia.
Fibromyalgia.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
That thing. But anyway, but that's something that you can definitely help with, because it could be that it's something that they're not testing for, especially around this medical environment that we're in. They may not be testing for it, but you can pick up on that.
Right, exactly. So, but you've got to, aside from identifying specific diseases or bad bacteria, what have you, you want to think about your body like a tank. And again, I always use a big analogy between money and vitality. So you can build your vitality, and one of the simplest ways of doing that is by making juices and or smoothies every day. It's just like doing your Tai Chi or Qigong and your yoga every day. Is you build your vitality. Whenever people are not well, I want them to do 20 ounces of organic smoothies every day.
20 ounces.
20 ounces.
Okay.
Now, somebody like you or me, we probably wouldn't be able to consume that all at once, but you make it. You have a little bit here, you have a little bit there.
Yeah.
And you've got your spinach.
I can consume 20 ounces, trust me. This little one, maybe not. But
not at one. Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so only because I want to make sure we get some things covered. So if someone's listening to the broadcast and feels exhausted, Lisa, for instance, have we covered kind of all the top recommendations you would have for them? Is there anything from...
Oh, there's more.
I had a feeling. Okay, so what would one or two other things be?
You want to fix your sleep.
Now, fix your sleep.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Now, many people, like I talked to a lady today, and she's not sleeping well. Now, what happens for a lot of people is they don't eat properly, they deplete their brain chemistry, and then your brain chemistry can be so depleted that you don't sleep properly. Okay? Now, sleep can be very complicated. There's multiple reasons why people don't sleep well. You want to, your bedroom is the most important room in your house. You spend 8 to 10 hours a day in your bedroom. Mm-hmm. You want to keep it clean. You want to, I worked with a gentleman yesterday, and when he slept, his head was right next to the router, the Wi-Fi.
Oh, wow.
And he had electromagnetic sensitivity, so he was sensitive to like EMFs, which is very common. And when people are exhausted, they frequently become sensitive to their cell phones, their computers. This can lead to headaches and brain fog and so on. And he was sleeping with his head right next to the major router.
Darn.
Right?
Darn.
Yep. So big time. So you want to identifying what causes your sleep to be off. That's like going on a detective hunt. So in my book, Unlimited Energy Now, I've got about 20 different recommendations to fix sleep. Okay. But you want to go through that like a checklist and figure out, why am I not sleeping and what can I do to sleep? So remember, the fastest, cheapest way to recover from adrenal burnout is to rest. Now, rest is a verb. It is something that you do. And when I have clients in the later stages of adrenal stress, I will usually identify for them how many days of complete rest they need. Okay. So let's say I have plenty of clients, believe it or not, who may need 21 days of rest. And they go, hey, I've got kids, I've got a job, how do I do this? Well, first of all, if you took 1 day every weekend of rest, you could have 52 days of complete rest every year. Now, you may also be able to schedule half a day, like all Saturday afternoon and all Sunday afternoon. And there's a technique called grizzly, which is where you hibernate like a bear. When you're doing your grizzly,
I can do that.
Yeah, you can do that. You lie on your back you sleep, you meditate, you take a hot bath. You're not working.
Right.
You give your brain a rest.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of my clients in corporate, they need to give their brain a rest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so no mental input.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch.
Leave that computer home.
Exactly. You can watch funny movies. You can read spiritually uplifting material, but you need to stop trying to figure it out.
Right.
Just rest.
Right.
Just be.
Yeah, just be. That's a beautiful thing. Just be. All right, so we're winding down to the last couple of minutes, about a minute and a half. Big bang. Here comes the big finale, everybody. What, other than getting her book, Unlimited Energy Now, and you can go to unlimitedenergynow.com for a lot of free resources and information and videos that she talked about. You can also go to CatherineCarrigan.com for a lot of information. And, of course, check out all of her books and also our past episodes with her, because we've covered a number of subjects that she covers. And I even got a text. I'm going to shout this out. I even got a text from Deborah as we're talking. She's like, can we have her on like every few months? Because it just kind of, it shifts. It helps you shift. All right, last minute and a half. What's the big finale?
Yeah, I think people need to understand that adrenal burnout is the underlying issue behind all degenerative diseases of aging. So if you've burned out your adrenal glands, if you depleted your energetic tank, that is the major reason for osteoporosis, for cancer, for again, when you have adrenal burnout, you're going to be stuck on your weight loss program. That most of my clients over the age of 40 really struggle with their weight. When you heal your adrenals, you don't have to struggle with your weight.
So you can't complain that it's menopause or it's work hours or anything. You have no excuse.
Yeah.
You get your adrenal glands or adrenal system intact.
Since you brought this up, Bernadette, before menopause, your adrenal glands make 40% of your sex hormones. After menopause, they make 90%. So I tell all my clients, as they approach menopause, the average age of menopause is 52, get this taken care of now. Because I tell my clients before they go into menopause, if you think you're tired now or you struggle with your weight or your mood now, just wait till you hit menopause.
I was fortunate for whatever reason, and all my sisters, a very short period of time.
It was easy.
Yeah, it was the end. I didn't go through it until I was like 54, 55.
Yeah.
I'm 56 now, not much farther. Yeah. But all right. Well, once again, thank you. Thank you. We will have Catherine back again because we love her. And at the same time, again, CatherineCarrigan.com. Go out to Facebook and Twitter on Shedding the Bitch, and certainly leave us a note, make a comment, ask a question. And if you didn't get it to her directly, I'll make sure you get it to her, okay? All right, so next week it's Ask Bernadette, the first one of the new year. So if you have any questions, stories, or challenges you want to discuss, post them on Facebook and Twitter. Of course, I'm going to respond to them immediately, but then I'll also dive into them even further right here on Shedding the Bitch Radio. So everybody, from Catherine and I and Deborah, have a fabulous week, a rich, prosperous one, and we'll see you right back here on Shedding the Bitch Radio next Tuesday at noon Eastern Time. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for listening to Shedding the Bitch Radio with Bernadette Bose. Join Bernadette every Tuesday at noon Eastern as she helps you shift your bitches to riches. And the dialogue is always going on at sheddingthebitch.com. See you next week.